Hello, this is Uhasa, and welcome to a new Battle Drills guide. Note this is the new Season 2 Waves of Intrigue Battle Drill. It's called Secluded Island. We're starting in 12 hours in the Pioneer server. This is part of the Radiant Guild. Special thanks to Reisalin, Lucia, Alice, Bechtyo, and Avatar for sharing their strategies, and Reisalin for compiling everything together and adding in her inputs as well. Note that this is not the final strategies that I'm sharing with you. This is all theory crafting and using the knowledge that we have and experience to create these strategies. And we're going to do some testing. I want to share the thought processes, and this should give guilds a quick boost into testing, and then people can come up with their own conclusions of what works best for their guild. If you're completely new to battle drills and don't know what I'm talking about, there are videos out there with explanations, and maybe I might create a concepts video on battle drills in the future. Just let me know if you're interested in that. So let's begin. So Reisalin has created a Google Docs. I'm not going to share this with the public, but this is just what we have here. So looking at the overview, we have about 150 passages, 3 buff strongholds camps, so 3 buff camps, and everyone gets the same buffs. We'll talk about them in a second. There are 6 small strongholds, so all the towers are called strongholds, okay? So there are 6 small strongholds, and each give +5. We have 1 medium stronghold. I believe it's this one. And we have 2 large strongholds, which are these ones. Okay. We also have the 3 buff stronghold towers. So I think that's what I think that's what I was trying to refer to, so not the camps. Then we have 2 sub-bosses. We have Salazar, Shadow Salazar, and Shadow Mirael. And then once you completed the whole map, we have Dethaniel, the boss. Okay. And our good friend Avatar has kindly made all the passages clearer, because you can see here they're quite faded, the font, and he just made them a lot clearer. And he also added all the camps on the side, so camp 1, camp 2, camp 3, and then these are on the left you have the buff tower buffs. So these are the perks that you can obtain once you defeat these towers. So let's talk about the buffs. So first one is called Spell Mastery. Oh, before that actually, we'll look at the superior skill. So the superior skill is the buff that all camps get, and it increases all allies' non-normal attack damage by 150%. And what that means is non-normal attacks, it means it's skills. So all the heroes' skills and ultimates, they are all increased by 150%. So anything that's not an auto attack. And so that's the main theme of this. Each camp starts with 5 levels each, and the maximum camp level attainable is 195% of the basic stat bonus. The baseline level for this map is set to 400. And so, like I said, the theme is skills and ultimate attacks. Alright. So this is the avatars thing. Yeah. So we're going to take a look at the buffs now. So Spell Mastery, all allies non-normal attack damage is increased by 150%. So this is a further 150%. It was stacked with the superior skill and grants 40 crits to those non-normal attacks. Wow. So you can hit 300% non-normal attack damage. So where is that? Oh, it's over here. So whoever's here, they're gonna camp 2 and 3, they're gonna hit really hard once they unlock 4. Moment of Glory. Whenever an ally character casts an ultimate, increase their attack by 15% and crit by 20 for all allies by 3 seconds. So this is pretty nice. But yeah, it's not, you know, it's not it's not as good as spell mastery. And energy flow grants 50 haste and restores 40 energy per second for allies. And that's, wow, 50 haste is quite insane. That's pretty good for all allies, and 40 energy per second. So number 6 and number 4 are really OP. Number 5, I think, well, increased attack in general is good because it's for everything actually. So it is pretty good. I think number 4 and 6 are better. Okay, so we're gonna take a look at the heroes now, the sub bosses, and start off with Shadow Salazar. So he has 3 abilities. He has his whip, which deals damage to enemies within the radius of the arc. I remember if it's following the same Salazar, his kit, then the whip does max health percentage. You have Spirit Shackles, so it deals massive damage to the enemy who has dealt the most damage, making them unable to move or act. Wow. So in the normal Salazar, when anyone who hits about 75% HP threshold, Salazar sends his Spirit Shackles, which are swords, and he just locks you down for about 5 seconds. So we're gonna see test how long that is. And his ultimate is Rain of Blades, summon flying swords to deal damage to the enemy. And again, if it's following the normal Salazar, then the flying swords will also heal him. And when you beat him, you get 15 bonus points. Okay, so Shadow Mirael, 3 abilities. First one, Bone Sear, burns an enemy and deals continuous damage to them. Fireball Singe, shoots a fireball at the target, causing damage in a small AoE. Okay. And Flaming Sky Sword, casts a flame to deal damage to enemies in its path, continues to burn the area. So this is just her standard kit. It's just missing one ability. Okay, great. So, tips for Shadow Salazar. Bring multiple DPS to this fight. Do not bring more than 1 melee if possible. Shadow Mirael. Tips. Mobile units will be key to avoid Mirael's ultimate. Avoid bunching all your allies together to not get team splashed by Flaming Sky Roar, which is her ultimate. Avoid units that turn melee under certain conditions, such as lava. Okay, now we're taking a look at Dethaniel. This is the boss. So we have 4 abilities here. The first one is Faceless Form. Creates 2 Mistlings to join the battle. Summons a servant to imitate each defeated enemy hero. So these Mistlings are his summons, and then anyone who dies, so you don't want any of your heroes to die in general, but even more so here, you do not want them to die. Enchanted Fog charms the enemy who deals the most cumulative damage. Okay, I wonder how long the charm for. People who are charmed usually attack your allies back too. Okay, Corrosive Miasma creates miasma when a battle starts, making himself immune to all types of damage while he's in the miasma. Wow. Okay, so nothing works on him. Okay. He's immune to all types of damage, but he's not immune to debuffs, is what it seems like. Miasma Grasp. Immobilizes and damages an enemy over time. Follow up with an attack that causes massive damage. Okay, right. And then you get 500 diamonds again. So they haven't increased any rewards. It's a bit sad. I wish they would give more rewards for the amount of effort that people put into this. Okay. And here the tips are: despite his ability to summon, do not recommend carrying AoE characters since the summon ability looks like a one-time use unless you let your units die. But do remember that summons will not drain Dethaniel's HP when taking damage. Don't forget to heal while you fight Dethaniel. Okay. Right. So yeah, it could be. We'll have to see if he can resummon. Ush- We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to test it out. All right. So let's go into the strategies. Since we haven't figured out how to unlock the 11th to 15th slot in battle drills, um, these strategies might actually not be very good because we're missing some key pieces of information. Due to the low amount of passage brawls and universal buff resource starting camps, it is highly recommended to distribute your guild members evenly by power across all camps and to rush the buff strongholds. It is not recommended to assign more than 10 players for dedicated pathing duty. The general strategy is pretty much streamlined with the following viable variants. So, two birds for one stone. So this is Lucia. She is the guild leader of Radiant, the #1 guild in the world. And let's see what she has to say. So we'll take a look here. Uh, one, so just following the colors, red is one. You can see that the top camps, they want to meet up and take down the buff tower as soon as possible so they can link up together as well. Once they linked up, they grab that buff. So this is the pretty good buff. This is the spell mastery. And then once they have spell masteries, they're going to split back up into their own ways and just move down towards the second and third buff here. As for the south camp, they're going to take on both the right and left small towers. They should go down very quickly, and then they will probably. It just depends on just coordination on shot calling, but I believe the right buff is better than this one, so I'd probably send everyone to the right. We'll see how we go, and then everyone goes to the left, and by doing this, you have linked up all the camps. So you can see, so the red is all connected. Once everyone is connected, then you go to number 2. So everyone is targeting this main tower. So this is the main stronghold, and oh, sorry, not the boss. This is the main stronghold. It's 5 units. They don't look very fun. Okay. Okay. And so by unlocking this, you have access to the sub bosses. And so there's probably reasons to kill the sub bosses first. And yeah, we're gonna take down the sub bosses first, and then after that you just take out everything else around the outer exterior, and then you can kill Dethaniel. Okay, so the most optimal strategy for guilds that do a lot of coordination, ideally split each camp's members towards 2 red routes, and step 1 basically forms a triangle. Pro, potentially the quickest route to the boss. The buff strongholds will fall at approximately the same time, providing a very quick power boost. Con, if the buff strongholds are stronger than expected, guilds with less coordination and guilds with less firepower will take longer to pass. So be warned. Next one, this is from Alice, and it's called the Speedy buff. So let's take a look at what's happening here. So with number 1, it's red as well. You can see that Alice is opting to be very minimal with pathing and trying to connect all the camps as soon as possible. And so with this, I'm just gonna get my pen out. So if you follow this line, everyone will connect towards here. Maybe I should make it thicker. There we go. So yeah, it should be, by connecting like this, everyone's connecting in this way. And so everyone is going solo until they get here. And what's happening is each camp will collect their own buff. So the south camp will collect the one here, the right camp will collect this one, and the left camp will collect that one. That's pretty smart. And then everyone will connect here, and you will have all three camps attacking this tower at the exact same time, and it should go down very quickly once you get to this point, because everyone has a buff of their own. And then once this is down, all the camps are connected. Okay, that's very cool. Very cool. And then once that happens, you can go for Salazar and Mirael. So it's a common, it seems like a common pattern that you don't take out the other towers. It's quicker, or it seems like more efficient to just take out the sub bosses first. They don't seem as strong, or they're easier to take down than these outer towers here. So once this is down, you take on 3, and then you just clean up the rest. Okay, so let's read it. A strategy caters towards quick acquisition of stronghold buffs, ideal for guilds with less coordination and likely to issue quick and effortless commands. Pros: more focus on acquiring buffs, easier to command. True. Con: takes longer to converge in step 2. Yeah, because everyone has to take on a medium tower by themselves, but it doesn't look like it's too long, but the rest should be okay. Yeah, okay, and finish the 4. Yep. Okay, this is by Bechtyo. I think this was a last minute. I don't even know if I'm saying this right. Bechtyo. I'm sorry. I'm gonna ask how to pronounce your name properly after this. So this is called Stronghold is Everything. So we're gonna take a look here. You see, so let's take a look. So number 1, the top camps are trying to converge into this. So the top camp gets all of this, and then once at the same time, the south camp is going here, and they are stopping here and they're waiting. So it looks like they're probably just waiting until these two camps can clear this, and once that's unlocked, they don't really have to do anything. They probably just take out the 10 passageways, and they're just chilling here. And so they're saving their stamina, and in that case then, they're probably making South Camp the strongest units because they can save their stamina. If they're not even waiting, like if they're not clearing the 10 passageways, that would make sense if you stop just right here as well. So you probably want to put a lot of strong members here. Okay, so from doing this, all the camps have connected, and then once that's happened, they're gonna take the middle one. So this is the center to take of this, but they're not gonna do the sub bosses yet. They want to acquire the third buff, and then acquire the other small towers, which are very easy to destroy and give bonus passages. Now, once that has unlocked, then you take on these 3 towers. See these bottom towers here, and that's because they give 30 stat points each. So just focus all on one tower at a time, and then you take out the rest. So maybe his thought process is these will be easier to take down versus the sub bosses. So personally, I don't know. I haven't looked into which one would be easier and which one would be harder. Maybe we can take a quick look after this. But let's read it. A strategy that focuses on mowing strongholds with the least passage brawling. Perfect for guilds that want to secure the top leaderboard spots sooner. It is also a teleport strategy. So if you don't know what the teleport strategy is, I have a video in my YouTube channel. You can just check it out. It's the Radiant Art teleport strategy. Pros: no unnecessary distractions on pathing that does not contribute to ranking. Cons: not a coordinate free strategy, and also requires a specific combination of member roles. Members that don't actively read, check the status, and coordinate would drastically decrease the effectiveness of the strategy. Yeah, so this will not go very well if you do not have a like you are not prepared. You know, you cannot do this last minute stuff, and you need your whole guild very highly coordinated if you're going to use the teleport strategy. So I think they're just using the teleport strategy that we learned from the last battle drills. Okay, and finally, we have a tier list, which is opinionated, so which is fine, but the following has been considered: starting, stronghold, unit capability, execution. Okay, so things that have not been considered are magic charm and faction buffs. So from what we know, Taline and Floribel are pretty strong DPS, and just remember this is for specifically for battle drills. Okay. Now we have the nukers, who are very strong AoE teams. You have boss killers here. You have the true damage. So now it's not magic only oriented, and it's not magic damage favored. So everyone's gonna deal very strong damage if they're skill based. Odie's still very good here. And you have Lily May, Carolina. Yeah, we have the DPS people. Excellent supporters, so you have people who allow you to do a lot more damage in the bosses or just sub bosses in general. Then you have the core options who you can take along with you for clearing, bossing, sub bossing. Okay, and these are the ones who are not really favored just because their skills don't really help much in this battle drill. Acorn Knight and Mage at your servers. Okay, so what we can learn from this is, from the strategies, is everyone kind of has a main theme, right? So the theme is that everyone is trying to connect their camps as soon as possible. You're trying to... Oh, is that you? I don't know. You're trying to connect your camps as soon as possible. You're trying to collect all the buffs before starting the next fight. So taking on the sub bosses or the towers. And so from there, everyone's trying to connect, do it in their own way. And then the last part is the sub bosses and the large towers. And then finally, you just clear the rest. So everyone's just trying to be really efficient because you don't want to clear everything like one step at a time. Just clear what's necessary, and then we need to clear the rest in order to meet Dethaniel. And that's all we know so far. In the future, I will give a update on what's going on here. But for now, that's it. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this. See you.